Hello and welcome to another fast and fun video. It's Rich here, and in this week's video I'm taking a look at this annoying knocking sound that I've been getting from my STI. I've owned it, you'll have noticed on previous videos, for about 3 months, and in that time there's always been a bit of a knocking in the suspension. So I've done lots of fault finding, trying to find out exactly where they're coming from, and I think there's 3 things contributing to the issue. So the first one I found out by using a friend of mine. It's got a full lift capability, so we could get under the car. We took a look at that, and I'm going to show you a video of that from a few days ago. So we're having a quick look under the Scooby, and this is a couple of things that we've just found. So Shane has just taken off the tray, and this is about the missing squeak. And can you see the size of these bolts that were holding on the under tray? And what we'll see here is if Shane if we shine the light in, just look up here, where, because these are the incorrect bolts, they're going straight up and you're hitting the anti-roll bar. And we're thinking now, and that's not even fully tightened up, and it's actually pushing the anti-roll bar. I wonder if that is definitely a cause of some sort of squeaking on the anti-roll bar. So we're going to get some correctly lengthed bolts to see if that's one of the potential issues. The other one, Shane, one of the other things is up here.
End of the steering rack. It's got a ever so slight play in the end of the steering rack. I mean, it will cause a knock, but I think most of our problems probably
here on that bolts on
this issue. Yeah. So just somebody fitted the wrong bolts.
We'll get some new bolts in. We'll see what happens there, and the rest of it looks okay. So I was hoping that was the only knocking, and unfortunately it wasn't. It's definitely took one of the noises away. And that sort of continuous grinding and banging on the anti-roll bar was certainly not helping. So that's been removed, which is great, but it was still there. So the next port of call was having a look at the suspension struts. Now let me show you one of the things you can do to check whether your struts, etc., are knocking. If you lift the bonnet, it's better to do it with 2 people. So you take off this is the top mount for your strut. Just peel away this plastic rubber bung, and it reveals the nut at the top of your strut. The only thing you need to do is put your fingers, it's better if you get 2 people do it, just lightly hold the nut and the strut and the top of the strut while somebody rocks the car, and you can feel a slight knocking, a slight movement. And I can feel that. And what that means is that your top mount is shot, and you need a new top mount for the strut. So that's the top mounts then that both need replaced. They're about £70–75 online to get them. So probably about £150 for both top mounts. But while we were there, what we also checked is the dampers and the struts themselves. A simple check is just do a bounce check on these. And with your bonnet up or your boot up, check the rears as well. If you have one of you that just puts some weight down, you should see some compression, some rebound, both front and rear. The rears, we've got nice compression and it self-levels and rebounds really well. The front, there's hardly no movement at all. So if one of you puts the pressure on, the other person looks at the gap really between the tyre and the top of the wheel arch, and you should be able to see some movement just by a person pushing down hard on both. So rears were absolutely fine. The fronts, there's no compression at all. So it feels like the dampers are absolutely had it. So I've decided to fit new dampers and new top mounts. But when I looked at what to fit, I don't want adjustables, coilovers, etc. I've just gone with Pedders. Seem to be quite recommended. Quite a lot of people recommend these for aftermarket struts. But I priced up the top mount and I priced up the damper, and then I was going to sort out the spring and all that sort of stuff myself. But actually the whole strut is actually cheaper than buying the same price as buying the damper and the top mount. So financially it's much better just to buy the whole strut, and it's also much quicker and simpler. So the job will now be, I bought 2 new struts, and let me just show you where they are. So here they are, it's both struts. These are Pedders. I bought these from Subaru Works. They're about £200. So here they are. They come literally top mount down here, and then everything's together. Your damper, your spring, etc. So that should hopefully be a relatively simple job to get fixed. Just haven't got time to get the struts fitted just yet, but they're here ready to go. As I say, £200 a strut, so you're looking at about £400 altogether, and I'm hoping it's a quite straightforward job to do, which I will plan to do a video in the coming weeks once I've done the replacement myself. And I'm hoping then that's the knocking gone. So a combination of potentially the two longer bolts on the under tray, hitting the anti-roll bar, the top mount for the struts, and the dampers within the struts as well. Fingers crossed, when all that's done, I'm hoping everything else, we had a good look underneath when it was on the 4-post ramp, and we couldn't see anything else or much plain anything else. So hopefully that will be all good to go and will be a clean bill of health for the Scooby. Hope that's helped. Anybody, if they've got problems with knocking suspension, I'll say a couple of little tips there, things you can check yourself, and hopefully the next video in a few weeks will show you how I get on with fitting these struts or not. As always, please subscribe, please thumbs up, and stay tuned. Another video coming up next week.